We are the first generation that must worry about whether we can survive on our planet.
We are the first generation that has watched videos and images of gigantic fires, empty reservoirs, and mega tornadoes and hurricanes and wondered what will become of us.
We are the first generation that has had to question whether we should have children because the earth would be too hot, too cold, too flooded, and on fire for them to have a good life.
We are the generation with our eyes wide open, and we refuse to give up on our future.
We need our governments to take action to fight against climate change. We know that it's not easy to change how a whole city operates. We put together the top 10 climate actions. Here are a few examples of policies that can have the most impact on reducing greenhouse emissions.
One of the things that we can do is to make sure that we have community solar programs so that renters and low-income people can have solar energy and low utility bills.
We can also replace fossil fuel municipal vehicles with renewable energy powered vehicles.
Another thing that we could do is to have all public buildings like city offices, libraries, and schools be energy efficient and use renewable energy. If the government doesn't make this commitment, how can we expect citizens to? And these actions also matter to us on a personal level. So for me, it's important that the government take action because my family is trying really hard to protect the environment. We have an electric vehicle, we use compost, and we have solar powered. While these are important contributions and every family should do whatever they can to protect the environment, we also have to recognize that a single family's or even a large group of families' work to protect the environment will have a much smaller impact compared to what a whole city government could do if they take these actions. The responsibility shouldn't just be on ordinary citizens that are just doing their best in their everyday life to protect the environment, but the government has to step up and acknowledge that they have the most power to protect the environment and they need to exercise that responsibility.
Yeah, I definitely get that. It feels like when you're one family and you're doing all these things to, save the earth and make sure that, we're not killing it. It also feels like when you don't have the support from the government or just in your community, it just feels like you're not making change. And it can be very discouraging. So it's definitely important for people to talk about this and also get the government involved and have them make change happen.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. It's definitely difficult to actually know whether someone is actually attempting the change that we need and they say they might be doing. For me personally, I know that me and my family and I have been trying to have been wanting to make the switch to solar panels, but it has been a little bit difficult because we live in a rent controlled house. So it's not really our decision. We have to talk this through with the landlord.
Yeah, Raina, that's why that community solar program that you brought up earlier is so important so that people who can't make the decision for themselves to get solar power can still have access to solar energy and can still help out through that way. And I think the government can also help make people like your landlord more interested in solar energy by just modeling that behavior themselves by having government buildings use solar power. And that can show other citizens that this is something that's good, that's something that's helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Just from piggybacking off of Reina, I definitely get that there may be, powers working against you or powers that, really just doesn't understand why the change needs to happen. I know for me, like in my family, like we have a gas fueled vehicle, and we've always been thinking about changing to a energy powered vehicle, but it's definitely hard because there's no support in it. I mean, I don't see the government really uh, making these types of things accessible for us. So it's definitely hard to make the switch, even if we wanted to. So I feel like if the government were to make more, moves to make like maybe a charging station or, charging stations in homes, maybe convince landlords to have those in garages, then we could definitely make that change to better the planet. And then I think, so one important thing would be to tell your mayors and your city councils, we need the top 10 climate actions right now, starting with where we live.
It's our future, and we insist on a world where we can survive and where our future children and grandchildren can live. And we'll vote to make sure that this happens.
For more information, you can visit the links below and see the 10 actions that your government can take and even you can take to make these changes.
Go take
action. Go do
Go,
it.
go.